All right, welcome to another episode of Unfriended. So today I have one of my best friends, my boy Clayton. About to mess your last name up, man. Don't tell it, man. Let me read it. That's horrible. What kind of friend is that, man? No, it's because on social media his last name is something Walrus or something. My boy Clayton Lustywallis. There we go.
Wallace. Woo, woo.
My boy, man. You got your boy Rob G, and then my boy T over here holding it down, co-host. I'll go ahead and knock these out, and then we'll get started. Shout out to Panther City Hat Company. If you're looking for comfortable, stylish, and well-made hats with Fort Worth in mind, definitely check them out. Right now, they're going to be doing a 15% off deal for Unfriended viewers and listeners. Just use the code Unfriended at checkout. Over at the website, it's panthercityhatco.com. It's panthercityhatco.com. You can check them out at Panther City Hat Company on Instagram and Facebook. And then a shout out to Klarity Music Group for the production of this podcast. You can find them at claritymusicgroup.com or Klarity Music Group LLC on Instagram and Facebook. It's Klarity with a K. Check them out. And then again, so today my guest is a good friend of mine, my boy Clayton, man. What's been up?
I feel like that Clarity with a K is a little unclear.
Well, it's not clear enough. Okay.
It's not as good clarity, though.
That's what's up, man.
That you explain it is the very definition of clarity, though. I like that a lot.
Yeah, never really thought about it like that. So I will say this, man.
But I've been good, man. What about you? How are you doing? Good to see you.
I'm okay. You know me, man. I'm up and down.
Yeah.
Today I'm up. Today's all right. My car broke down. You know, but this life, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But what I was going to say real quick, though, before we dive in is I was just going to kind of point out something about you, dude. You're like, it's crazy because you're like, on one hand, you're like the most like, kind of like just like adventurous, like crazy dude that's just down for whatever. But then on the other hand, you're like probably like the most logical person I know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it all, there's like a reason, you know. There's reasoning behind the shit you do. You know, there's logic to it. And, you know, just as far as even trips we go on, as far as you planning and, like, doing this and that, it's, like, super logical. But then at the same time, you just be doing some wild, crazy shit, bro. You know? And that's a compliment to me, you know. I would take it as a compliment. I mean it as a compliment.
It is a compliment.
You know?
Thank you.
And, you know, if you say you're going to do some shit, you do it, man. I mean, like, well, that one time we had that little trip planning to go to, like, we'll be playing a bunch of shit that everybody bailed except you, and you would still go do it. But one particular was that water park or whatever.
Yeah, we went to what
was that even in Texas?
BSR water park in San Antonio.
Yeah, so we all said we were gonna go hit this spot up. Everybody bailed except this fool, and he just goes by himself.
I had the whole thing
it.
planned. We had like 12 people.
Yeah, it was a big plan, big thing. Plan everything planned.
I got people to like start bringing beers and coolers, and just we were all gonna go down. And one person bailed, and then everybody bailed. Yeah. And I said, fuck that.
Yeah, and you do that all the time, man. And then what happened on that trip? Didn't you break your nose or something? Or?
So I went there, and I went there, and I had like 30 beers, a big cooler, and I don't know. I just got there. Right. I was like feeling good. It was a good. That was like the strangest solo adventure you could ever bring up that I ever did.
Water park by myself, you know.
It was in San Antonio, and it was like it wasn't even like an ordinary day. It wasn't like the weekend or something. It was like a Thursday or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's why everybody bailed, because it was during the week and everybody was busy and shit.
Yeah, but we were working. We
were
working
also,
strange
it's all
hours.
Coming back to me. Also, I think it was gonna rain or something that day, so I think that's why a lot of people were like, "Hey, I just looked at the weather," and you were like, "Fuck that, I'm gonna still go." And like I said, bro, it's just like there's been multiple times where like you just still do like what you say you're gonna do, you know?
Yeah.
And that's
I got down there. And it wasn't raining at all. It was like real sunny in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. Perfect day to be at the water park. It was a little breezy, but that's fine. Yeah. Whatever.
But you broke your nose though, right?
Yeah, bro. That's what I thought that wasn't even the first. That wasn't even the worst part of it. I lost my phone in the lazy river.
Oh yeah, that's right. Lost your phone.
I pounded
nose,
like 6 beers in the car before I decided to like go in and get an entrance fee. Then I Man, I got into the lazy river with my cooler, dropped it in there. I was just talking to people on the lazy river and sharing stuff. I forgot that I left my phone in my like swim trunks pocket. Which, why do you have pockets on a swim trunk? Anyways, that's just a bad case.
Never thought about it before.
Smart.
See, that's that logic I'm talking about. Never, why the fuck is there pockets on that in a damn swimsuit? Because, bro, I've done that too. I've had my phone in my, twice actually throughout my life. Just at pools. I'll hop in the fucking pool with my phone and my keys and all that shit in my pocket.
So
it's
I was
retarded.
I was a little. I was feeling pretty good when I got into the lazy river, but I forgot my phone was in my pocket, and then halfway through the lazy river, I like pulled my phone out of my pocket, and I was like, "Oh, I should just check and see what's on." Like not even realizing,
not even thinking. Damn, man.
And I was like,
See, you used to get
it's
fucked up back then, man.
I was like, "Oh yeah, it's wet. I destroyed my phone today." So I put it back in my pocket. I was like, what else am I, want to throw it in the cooler or something? Got done with the lazy river, went to the slides, and it was strange. They have so many directions for how to like slide down.
Yeah.
And they said like the
Cross
least,
your arms.
yeah, like the
back,
least probable way to like get a concussion is to go down on your like face first.
Mm-hmm.
Is because if you go on your back, they tell you to tuck your chin, but sometimes they say at the curve, people will throw their head back and,
oh, okay,
you can hit your head on the way up and out, and that gives people a concussion because, I don't know, that's pretty,
it makes sense.
Pretty dangerous.
So you decided to do it that way, huh?
I went face first, and I went on the biggest one, of course.
Yeah.
And got the most speed, and nobody told me that you're supposed to put your arms in front of your face so that you pound into your hands or into your, like, wrist or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was just like full out like this, and you get to the curve and my face went
damn
right into the thing. I was midair and I probably was just dripping blood by the time, because when I hit that water, man, I didn't want to be in San Antonio for a minute longer after that.
Yeah, man.
I came up and there was like a big like red circle around me.
That's what's up, bro.
I crawled out, went into the woods.
Yeah, shit, just water parks in general. I don't fuck with them, bro. That shit's nasty to me, bro. Nasty ass water.
It's all like super chlorinated.
I just don't fuck with it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you already know it's gonna be a bunch of piss and all that in there. It's too like maybe like nicer ones, but like over here in like Fort Worth, all we have is a damn
NRH2O.
Yeah, NRH2O. But I was thinking of the original one. What's that? The Six Flags one or whatever? The Wet and Wild? No, that's what it used to be called. Hurricane Harbor.
Hurricane Harbor.
That shit's hood. You know what I'm saying? Now, like. It's just ratchet as fuck, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just didn't like the vibe.
Jam, bro.
You fuck with water parks and shit like that?
I haven't been in a while.
I can't even remember the last time I went to a water park, man. But I will chill. I love kicking it at pools and shit like that. But water parks and all that.
Partly because I almost drowned at Schlitterbahn, like literally drowned.
Oh, really?
Like they had to jump in and come save me. One in San Antonio.
Okay.
It's only one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little famous.
But I was
spot.
like, they in the wave pool. You know what I mean? And the waves are like 3 of you.
Those wave pools.
You see what I'm saying?
Were you younger?
And I was like 15 feet full of waves, and I'm just under there, like just sinking to the bottom. I'm at the bottom. I was like,
you don't know how to swim?
I was like 10 years old, bro.
You didn't know how to swim then?
No, I didn't know how to swim then. My cousin jumped in. He was like,
who took you to a damn water park?
My cousin. You know what I mean?
Does he know how to swim?
And that's the thing about it. He's like,
he hears me, but he's not trying to answer.
He know how to swim. But he hood too. So he like, follow me, just follow me, keep following me. He know what he doing, bro. The whole time he leading me to the deep end, just so he could save me, bro. He puts me in the deep end, and then I'm at the very bottom of the bottom, and the 15-foot wave is like over my head. I'm looking up, like,
and
God.
Knowing him, he would just be super chill. You know,
I was
just
chill.
Always, so you probably not even trying to attempt to. You probably just really just floating down like this.
Yeah.
Bro.
And like
that's how I envision it.
He jumped in and come get me. The lifeguard jumped in to come get me. Everybody was
those wave pools are no joke though.
Damn,
bro.
I don't like them.
Those are pretty tight though, actually.
They're tight, but they're like super dangerous.
There's too many people.
It's too many people. It's like 100
Yeah.
feet above my head, and I'm just looking up at all of them.
I was always the kid at the wave pool on the side of the pool because I couldn't. If I was like,
but you're tall as fuck, so you're always good.
But I wasn't forever.
He just got tall.
I just got tall, man.
Because see, when you and me met,
San Antonio is the last water park I ever went to.
When did you and me meet? No, it's been like 5-6 years.
Yeah, it's been
now.
like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. So I will say this real quick,
2014,
dude.
2015.
You know, you already know I roast you and shit, whatever, all the time. Fuck it. But when I first met you, you know what I'm saying? Man, you'd be the last motherfucker. It's before I got to know you and shit. You be the last motherfucker I would ever want flying my plane, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I first met you, before I got to know you, absolutely. All that shit, I just met you at work. I'm like, this motherfucker crazy, bro.
I want him to fly me.
But now that I know him, bro, I couldn't think of anyone else that I'd rather have fly, bro, because he's so, like, just on point with shit. You know what I'm saying? You know you are. You know, like, to the, like, about the details and shit, you know? Yeah. And so, like, you know, like I said, just kind of brings me to the point. We won't stay on it too long or whatever, but, you know, my boy's about to, you know, be a pilot, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's just crazy to me, man. And I know before all this, like, you already had your, like, I don't know much about it, but, like, you already had, like, your license to, not like a commercial license, but you already did your time to do, like, a private?
I never had any time for that. I
thought you had.
I had flown a bunch with, like, in the backseat of an airplane, like, small aircraft with, like,
so going
with people before. So, I don't, you know, I had some experience, like, being up in there, but never...
You were never at the controls.
Yeah, never at the controls and never doing anything.
So I got a question. You know how in a car you can't just switch while you're driving 80 miles per hour, but if you're in the airplane, can the pilot just get out of the pilot seat and somebody else get in the pilot seat and, like, no crash or nothing will happen? I think about things like that.
This the dude I picked to be my co-host out of everybody on the planet.
I want to say that, like, the training aircraft that I'm in they're built in a way that they want to fly. So they want to continue to float in the air. Oh, okay. So if you had somebody in the front seat and you were for some reason in the back seat and they became incapacitated and you had to, like, jump forward, right? I think you could do it. It's fine. I mean,
I would hope so. I mean, it would still, you know, that's the point of having the second person there, right?
Yeah, it still wouldn't be good, but, like, well, yeah, that's what we do. We fly side by side though. We don't have somebody in the back. It's not like you know, I'm not a chauffeur.
But you would actually literally need to sit in his seat, right?
Yeah. You could. Well, yeah. And now the training aircraft that I fly in right now to start out with, they, like, have two controls, so you don't.
Oh, no shit.
Just, you know.
Okay.
They have somebody on one side, somebody on the other side.
Man, I remember that reminds me, bro. Like, driver's ed. You know how the other person has the brake. Yeah. Man, my driver. I had already been driving for, like, almost a whole year before I did driver's ed, just because I had to. You know, my dad, single dad, firefighter, 24 on, 48 off, but he would do overtime, so he'd be doing really 48 on, 24 off. And I still got to get to school and shit somehow, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that or whatever. And so I was driving and, like, I just, you know, dude just kept, I guess I get it because you got a bunch of kids that you really, like, you're putting your life in their hands and shit. These dumbass kids over here. So, but he like kept fucking me up, you know what I'm saying? Because he kept hitting the brakes and shit. So, like, when you're doing the plane, like, I mean, that person can, like, take control over what you're doing and shit, right?
No, obviously. I mean, not just that, but, like, those guys who are driving cars, the driving instructor in a car is, like, incomparable to
I'm like not comparing that to a fucking plane.
To like a flight instructor. Like, a flight instructor has to know so much information about the plane that it's, like, second nature for them, right? Yeah. So that they can be off the controls and let the student pilot, be in control. And, like, kind of the reason I'm up there is to screw up just a little bit, you know, like, not in, like, danger the plane.
Yeah, but it's a hands-on thing.
Yeah, it's a hands-on thing. Like, I have to be at the controls. I have to know what's working, and, like, I have to read about this information, and, like, I have to, like, work at that process. And he is there to guide me and tell me. And then if I ever do anything dangerous or, like, terrible, it can go so far as to get to, like, the FAA, and they're like, that's, like, the law enforcement of, right. I mean, it can go all the way up, but at his level, he has, like, 260 hours of fly time. The minimum certified flight instructor has 260 hours. My flight instructor has, like,
Man, that's a lot of time in the sky.
Has more than that. Yeah, and then but all that time that they have flying, for every hour you have flying, you probably have like 2 hours reading books, 3 books,
Really?
or 3 hours reading, like studying books, maneuvers, checklists. Like you got to know so much damn information.
Does
honestly,
it feel... So have you gotten to the point yet where you, I mean, because I'm trying to figure out where you're at in this journey, man. Like, so you haven't had like passengers yet.
No.
So do you think like you'll be prepared enough mentally, or do you think when you finally got 200 people's life in your hand, you think it's gonna kind of like be a little overwhelming, or do you think you'll be like, it's gonna be overwhelming, but like, do you think you're gonna really like, it's gonna hit you like,
it should,
bro, I got 200 people's life in my hands.
It shouldn't be overwhelming, and pilots are kind of trained not to think about that sort of thing, because I mean, again, all aircraft are designed with like safety.
Right.
I mean, just there's so many like built-in safety procedures, maneuvers, people, politics. There's so much red tape that goes into flying that like people just don't mess around when it comes to like getting in the air. You just
can't. I mean,
you can't. Not, And especially when you get civilian souls on board, and that's what they call them. They call them souls.
I was about to ask you that.
Call them souls on board.
Wow. Okay.
That puts really like extra emphasis.
That's what I'm saying.
You got souls on board.
You got souls on board.
The same thing.
You're driving Spirit planes and you got souls on board.
Man, don't fly for Spirit, bro.
Yeah, they don't,
because I'm gonna hate you automatically because I fucking hate Spirit.
They don't. I've flown in Spirit recently. It wasn't so bad.
Fuck that company.
I'm big as fuck too. They're cheaping out on space.
Damn.
Comfort.
Yeah, I bet it
stuff.
sucks for you doing all kinds of shit being that
back
tall.
in the day. I took a flight last flight I took on Spirit before I took this most recent one was like 9 years ago when they had first come. I don't know if they first came out, but they had been out for like a couple of years. And I took a flight, and my knees got so crunched up in between the seats they had to move me to an exit row, and that was just crazy. But just to get back to like the safety and procedures, like the further up in the airlines, just every step of the process. I mean, I get a private pilot's license at 40 hours. I have, or I can. It's really up to me. It's how much I know, how much I study.
Right.
And it's just like a test. It's just like a driving test, except
times a million.
Yeah,
like, seriousness.
It's on overload all the time, and there's so much information. It changes. There's currency. There's like recency. There's just all the stuff that you're like sitting there. It's like stuff will change every 2 months, 3 months.
That's what I was about to say.
5 months, 6 months.
It's a plane. I mean, it's
like,
pretty much a big ass computer at this point. Not how it used to be. I'm assuming where it's more mechanical. So like, just like anything in technology. So every month, shit's already completely different. You know?
By the time they'll let me fly people on board commercially for like airline transit,
you'll be probably flying a Tesla plane or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be. I don't know if technology's moving that fast, but we'll be like 2 years in the future. So 2 years from now is 2021. Oh well, we're about to be 2021, and
man, that's a pretty extensive
2022. I'll be flying. Like,
I guess as it should be. I mean, it's a serious ass job.
And I'll have, it's just like it's like going to college, but the college is just flying. Right.
So it's like going to a trade school.
Yeah, you're just learning as much as you can about flight, and then that becomes your specialty. That's it.
So do you think if your brother wasn't a pilot, you would even ever thought about like do you think something truly is drawing you to like you really want to like be in the sky or like stuff like that? Or
especially now that I've been up there and behind the controls. Oh my god,
I hate heights, man.
It is. That experience alone. My first flight was, I don't know, like a week and a half ago.
Like to where you actually took off and landed and shit?
No, well, I didn't. Again, my flight instructor does all the hard stuff first. Like I'm just learning. So he has me like ghosting him or like on difficult stuff. But once we get up into the altitude, he gives me then when we get to the easy stuff, he's like, take it slow and like do this and then do that. And
Have you ever just tried to do some just stupid shit? Like not stupid shit, but like give it a little extra gas or something?
Never ever. Never ever. They don't play.
Quick way to lose your.
They don't play.
Yeah.
I would be trying to see how fast I can get it going on the runway, like without taking flight. See if I can get up to 100 miles per hour. Just
you can.
I would.
You could try to do that.
Never want you to.
You can
fly
do that.
Anybody.
The first thing they'll teach you in any book is that planes are designed to fly. So if you try to get it going as fast as you possibly can, the laws of physics apply. Yeah, it's gonna want to take off, takes off on its own, regardless of whether you want it to take off.
If I want to, it's like I really, really want it to go this fast. It's not gonna do it.
It'll go that fast. It'll just take you also into the air. It's gonna add that third dimension. Driving is just forward and sideways.
Do you practice your pilot's voice? Like, okay, we're about to land in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
As far as your training, what did they tell you about that? I've never thought about that before. Like, I'm sure that's a big part of.
Yeah, I have to practice radio calls all the time. I mean, you guys could listen in too if you listen like live ATC or anything like. Yeah, if you I can set you up with a code or something, you could listen in.
That'd be dope, man.
People just people are listening all the time. They make radio calls. It's normal. You don't do anything special.
But as far as like talking to like the
passengers,
because like, dude, I've been on flights before where like I'm like,
they
bro,
funny
we got
sometimes,
like,
bro.
Pilot, like he be cracking jokes and shit.
Well, see, and when you
especially like when I went to Hawaii, he already knows where everybody's there going to. Like he knew we were all getting fucked up on the plane and shit, and like he knew what was up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was like cracking jokes, and like I felt comfortable with that dude. And like he was like, we good. Like,
another thing,
like,
if you haven't seen the movie with Denzel Washington about the pilot, okay, that's a fire movie to watch.
It was a cool movie.
Forgot about that movie. Like, how fucking retarded is that now that you know the real?
I think the pilot community, not me, but the pilot community that I know and the people that I've talked to would just say that movie is like terribly unrealistic. But whatever. It's a movie.
It's a movie, yeah.
It's supposed to get you interested. But it's cool. I thought the movie was cool too. He went inverted, saved the plane.
It's been a while since I've seen the movie.
2 people were injured. That's it.
And is from your, because no one in this room knows, shit at all. Like, is that even like possible?
I don't want to say it's impossible. It's not likely.
Because he went. I forgot how it went. He went upside down. Right?
He went inverted, and then he had to fly the plane. You have to like all of your. If you're completely inverted in a plane, technically all of your. Everything that's giving you lift and everything that's like gone. Flying you is in reverse now. So you have to think about it upside down. And Denzel's character is so drunk or just so confident. High on coke or so confident or just he's such a strange being that he's like such a unique being. He like pulled it off, and the movie wants to credit him as a unique being, but it's a fictional story, and at the end of the story they did the right thing, and they were like, nah, it was because of the alcohol and drugs that you were on that allowed you to like maneuver and be relaxed in a situation that would have terrified any other normal. I'm telling you, if I go upside down in a pilot or in an airplane, I'm to change my underwear when I get on the ground.
Man, I'm sure there's got to be, maybe in class y'all get to hear this type of stuff. I don't know what y'all do, but like, do y'all get to hear, examples of like, or see or hear examples of like just bad performance? You know what I mean? Like people saying shit that maybe something goes wrong, they're about to like maybe scaring the shit out of the passengers before shit maybe they shouldn't have, or where's that certain line where you're like, hey, you need to really tell them like we're going down, bro. Because I think it's fucked up if you're about to crash and shit ain't going cool. Like, I would you got to let us know, bro, because you might want to make a call or pray or do whatever you want to do.
Man, it's not
like, what's the protocol for that?
The protocol is to lie,
just take it to the ground.
Lie.
Really?
Take it to because ignorance is bliss in that situation.
That's what I'm saying. I know there's a line where it's like, damn, bro, I shouldn't have said anything.
If you want to know the truth, look out the window, and then make your. At that point, you just got to take your liberties.
Have they told you specifically how you need a word? We don't focus
on that in school.
Like, oh, okay. So
we don't, not at all, because it's just that everything they're trying to teach us in school is like a positive feedback loop. You're just trying to get this positive feedback because.
But it is a dangerous situation, dude.
So the saying in the pilot industry is plan for the worst, pray for the best, or pray or hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
So plan for the worst. So plan that, every outing you're going to go on, your plane's going to catch on fire, your engine's going to fail, and you're going to need to land in like a field or on water, which are like the most dangerous landings. And you plan for that sort of stuff, but underneath all of that, you don't really expect that that's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, not that it's not ever happened. People do collide midair. That's crazy.
Collide?
Yeah, collide. But like
with another plane?
Yeah.
Bro, how the fuck does that happen?
Well, mostly when they collide midair, it's like really close to landing, so you're in the traffic pattern.
Oh, okay.
So there's because it's traffic.
Probably just miscommunication, obviously.
It's a traffic pattern. It's just like coming to a 4-way stop. Somebody misses the stop. Somebody else isn't paying attention.
Yeah. Okay.
And tries to go through the stop. It's just traffic. So they collide, but they're like one's on the ground trying to take off and the other's trying to land. And it's a midair collision, but it's 2 feet off the ground, and it's not so dangerous because it's super slow. So
like, with the knowledge you have, thus far, like, what is something you could tell, because bro, I hate flying. I'm super extreme. Like when I was younger, I flew all the time. It wouldn't even, I would want the window seat. But as I got older and realized, like, yo, we're like, what's really happening?
Yeah.
I mean, it really freaks me out. Is there something you could tell me with your knowledge now, like, not to like comfort me or something, but like you're telling me that like the plane's made to fly, like it's it's made to get hit by lightning and shit, right? Like it's made for birds to go through the engines, like it's made like for that.
The poor,
right?
Yeah. I don't
or
know.
maybe I'm wrong. You could tell me like, yeah, it is pretty much this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I mean, I think flying is one of the safest things you can do.
It's safer than driving.
It's the safest thing you can do. That like compared to like other things, like if you just have a bad diet, you're more likely to die of a cardiovascular, like 1,000 times more likely to die of cardiovascular disease in your entire life than ever getting onto an airplane. That's how little airplanes crash in this world. And when planes do crash, they crash mostly because of pilot error. Yeah, they call it human error, but it's it's because somebody wasn't paying attention, somebody was doing the wrong thing, and
so as far as
the corporations
like
don't want to get blamed. So that's how it always goes.
So like they don't want to get blamed, but is it behind the scenes, is it really the pilot's fault pretty much? I mean, shit's gonna happen with planes too, though.
It's,
like,
there's just a lot to. I mean, just like I said, there's so much information to process. Though what they're training me to do is to process all that information.
Right.
And it's just like driving your car. If you're a good driver and you're going on a 12-hour road trip, you have to check your fuel, check your oil, check your gauges periodically, but you've only got 3 gauges. You've only got you've got your speed, you got your speedometer.
On a car.
Yeah, on a car.
Bro,
you got your speedometer, you got your your engine pressure, which is your RPMs. And
fuel.
You got fuel and stuff. And then you got other stuff that can light up variously if it goes wrong. And if you don't pay attention to that, but with a car, it's immediately noticeable. You're already on the ground. It's easier to handle. The situation becomes just like your tire today. Your tire blew out, right? And all you had to do was make sure that nobody was going to rear end you. So check your mirror.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. In an airplane, you can have. I mean, we call it a 6-pack in the training airplanes because it's 6 gauges. But they, modern airplanes that you're talking about that I'm not even going to be in for like another 2 years, maybe 2 or 3 years. They have glass. They have glass panels that have all 6 instruments in them.
Oh, really?
So then you read all those. But then there's like, you've seen a cockpit. It's just.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've only walked past
it's like
2 or 3 times.
It's like a damn club in there. You got lights going on. And
it's like a recording studio. To me. Like it's like a whole big board of like a shit ton of buttons, and I'm like, bro.
Yeah, you got. Not only that, it's like a recording studio, but then you got switches overhead, you got lights coming from behind you. You got to look backwards.
So how many of those buttons literally never get touched? There's got to be a ton of those buttons that never get touched, bro. Right?
They shouldn't.
Like
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the maintenance, bro. You hear all these horror stories. Like, I'm trying not to be so childish about the conversation because like I can go way to the left, but you hear these horror stories. These people be like not maintaining the airplanes, and then like they're like 20, like however many miles overdue for a or whatever, you know what I'm saying, hours and stuff,
whatever,
and then
the plane's lifespan or whatever, how you want to word it, but
they're like, well, that's contributing to the fact that it was grounded or whatever the case may be. That's why I don't fly.
I mean, it's completely.
But if there's something I could say that could comfort y'all, it's just what everybody else says.
We don't want lies.
Go look up any statistic. I mean, there was. I just saw one the other day, and it like zoomed out. It said like there were like deaths per, like how many human deaths there are per year on case by case, and it started out with like hippos, and like hippos like actually kill like 40 people a year or something like that, and then sharks killed like maybe 1,000 people a year. So sharks are pretty dangerous. You'd think sharks are pretty dangerous, but 1,000 people out of 7 billion is nothing, and there's huge sharks in the ocean. There's a lot of ocean out there.
Right.
I mean, sometimes you got to be like, what was the circumstance? Like, and then after that, it's like, I don't know. There was like 3,000 or 4,000 airplane crashes next to like
per year.
I don't know if it was per year, but it was like I have to look. I'll send you the data thing that I found.
Yeah, I'd be interested to look at that.
But a lot of the stuff as it curves up, like things like alcohol is like was up in the like.
I was going to ask you about the
cigarettes.
Since you're behind the
like
scenes
9
now.
times of that. It was like 900,000. You have cardiovascular diseases hitting like
those are
like 2 million, and like that was the number one. That's the number one killer. Is people are too sedentary now, and people just slowing down their lives on their phones. I mean, humans have always been sedentary, whether we had phones or like newspapers or books or just. We don't like standing up, man. It's work.
You
got to get your blood pumping, get your heart pumping.
But you do. You got to go for that run, man. You got to sit in there. And I mean, so comparatively, planes are like one of the least dangerous things next to like being out in the wild. Which I don't even know how most of us would ever experience a hippo outside of a zoo right now.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not gonna be us. Could be the food handler.
Right.
Hippo decides the watermelon's not good that day.
But what I was going to ask you though, whenever you brought up the drinking and stuff like that, I wanted to ask you, because there's like a little stereotype of pilots, getting drunk and or whatever. Like how now that you're around all that, like, is it even possible to get on a plane, drunk? Like, do they test you or? You know what I mean? Like, what's the protocol for that? Like,
if I get into an airplane, I'm doesn't matter if I'm pilot in command or I'm not pilot in command. If I'm like sitting there next to somebody who's about to fly me, it's my duty to gauge whether that person is capable of flying,
really?
And to like.
And vice versa.
Yeah, and vice versa. So it's kind of
there is no breathalyzer. Like,
I mean, there is. If you think somebody's drunk, they'll pull out a breathalyzer and they'll come get you right then and there. And
but like people are gonna be cool with certain people, and like they know, like, man, we had a couple drinks. Like,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think the business is so serious. It's so serious at that level.
But bro,
and then you got people waiting
many pilots
to pilot.
Bro.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you would have to think that somebody gets by with it, but those people are all going to get caught. So that doesn't mean that all the. I mean, I know pilots that go party. I know pilots that are like Christians. So like, and not like that Christians don't drink. I'm just saying like the pilots I know that don't drink happen to be it just happened to be like, I don't know, man. You got both the cases, and they're pilots. I think I'm not sure. I'd have to. I don't know this one. I guess somebody told me this once that there have been pilots with DUIs before. So
really?
Yeah. So pilots definitely do drink. They get caught on the ground.
Yeah.
It's not easy to get back into the piloting industry.
Yeah,
to
I wouldn't
get into DUI.
So.
They don't take that. They take all that stuff seriously. And if you ever get caught with like alcohol in your system, even when you're not flying, like it's goes from point 8 to point 4. 0.04. So if you're caught driving with more than 0.04, you can have all your licenses revoked, or you can have you can just run into a lot of trouble, and they track you. They just it's the government, and they keep track of everything that you're doing, and then they come down on you, hard and swift.
Yeah, as they should, man. It's like nothing to play with.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't even mess around with that stuff. Doesn't mean they don't drink. If they got
I don't care what they do.
If they got 6
about,
days off, you can. I bet I can guarantee you those first 2 days are going to be.
That's what I'm saying.
Wild
like
party.
I don't care about that. I just would think, like, bro, why wouldn't you just make everybody take a quick breathalyzer test? Like, why wouldn't you? Like, it's like, bro, we have the easy. Some handheld thing, bro. Like, but we're gonna really just go off like what this dude thinks, Not saying that guy's, isn't,
Yeah, but I mean,
but it's like that's still a human when we could literally know you're drunk or not.
So you're saying like everything require him?
Yeah, you could say that.
I don't understand why you wouldn't.
You could say that.
You're
for
putting
everything.
that much life, people's lives into.
That's mad ultra conservative though. Where's the trust?
But that's not. I know you could apply that to everything. I get it, but this is like, bro, you got hundreds of people's lives in your hands. Like, I just don't see. I see where it is pretty conservative, But like,
I think the reason they trust that pilots do that is because pilots make like anywhere from a $50,000 to like $150,000 investment just to get these licenses,
right? Yeah,
and to get them taken away over like a breathalyzer test. So the FAA or whoever's running the show is just like, okay, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt of the trust, and if we give you the benefit of the doubt of trusting you to like show up to work not hungover, because hangovers, I found out hangovers are you're still under the influence. You're under the influence, and there guys that have gone down for that, guys and girls, I guess. I mean, there are a lot of female pilots now. I'm sure there are people who have gone down for that because they went flying with a hangover and got caught, and that's it. I mean, that's it. I'm sure there are people who have gotten away with it, showed up. Some people handle a headache and a hangover way differently than others.
So how does
it's hard to tell?
What's the rules or the protocol as far as let's say somebody has anxiety and they actually have a prescription to Xanax.
Yeah.
Does that apply the same as just other jobs where it's like you got the prescription, you're good, or is like flying have a whole different like?
I guess that's another. This isn't an industry secret, but this is like an industry standard. Is I only know my business, and that's as far as I have to take it. So
okay.
I'm like I want to apologize to you, like real quick. Like I know you've got that prescription, and like if you were to become a pilot, you'd have to. The FAA would already know, but they'd want to see you put that information forward to them. And then they tell you like, hey, this career might not be for you. Yeah. Or like they might come back to you and say, it's just like, I mean, you got to be, they want the sharpest of the sharp. They want people, but there are people who have prescriptions. I mean, guys get old, girls get old. They, you know, people got to fly. They get different stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
People have heart attacks.
I was just curious on that. I never really thought about that before.
I mean, they let people come back and fly. They want pilots, you know.
Yeah.
But
if you're solid and reliable, and, I mean, shit happens, like you said. So you're still a person. So
I would say they just take accountability instead of like a 24-hour day. It's like a 48-hour day. You have to be accountable for 48 hours before getting into an airplane. Even thinking about like I've got to fly on Monday for going to school. Okay, I have to be thinking about what my choices are Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah. Like I can't be doing anything. I can't have a glass of wine with dinner. I can't do these certain things.
You also need to be well rested.
Right, I got to be well rested. And like, not that you can't be well rested, but there's a difference between acute sickness or acute ailment and chronic illness. Definitely. And like acute is like a one-off. They'll let it slide. Okay. But if you keep showing up to work and you're like tired or fatigued or something, they'll be like, hey, what's going on? Yeah. So I don't know.
I know that you don't know everything.
I don't know that in your situation that Xanax is either wouldn't that. I mean, I was
just using that as an example because it is a mind-altering thing, and so I didn't know if they're just pretty much like
that's one of the,
or if it's kind of discrimination, or if it's like, hey man, like
that's one of the
we can't have you flying because you.
That's probably the biggest thing that they worry about is mental health. I would say the airline industry worries the most about mental health.
Exactly.
So, like,
that's why I was curious about it.
They may be like the most aware of that situation. Guys away from their families for a long time, depression's going to hit at some point, or could hit. It's just more probable. I don't know if that's how it sets in or how it begins.
But it's safe to say it's gonna.
Yeah, like
the average person is gonna take a toll.
The mental health can start to deteriorate, and once you have that deterioration, it can either compound itself and become steep, like a steep hill, or it can slow and they can come back up. On their own.
That's crazy, dude. So, I don't want to keep having you feel like you're at taking a test.
No, I'm not.
I don't know anything about this stuff, and I've never talked to a pilot before. But is there an age cutoff? To where it's
I think the retirement. I mean, my brother was talking about this the other day.
Because even the military, dude, you can't get in the military after 35. But that's the other end of the spectrum. That's getting in, but stopping, it's obviously our government falling give a shit since we've got 95-year-old motherfuckers falling asleep in
I think
meetings and shit, but whatever. But flying a plane, it's hey, if you still holding your job down, you good? Or it's hey, bro,
they check you.
You're 90, bro.
Once you get over 40, they start checking you more often.
As far as just taking physical,
it's a medical, and every time you go, so you have to take one medical a year. That's for first class, and that's to be an airline transit pilot. But the medical is both a physical and a mental evaluation. Yeah. So even the FAA has the doctors in on their scheme, which is hey, make sure this person is didn't show up to your to your thing
showing
drunk or showing any signs
they're not messed up. I think so it should be. I would want my pilot to.
It's really reinforced down to the ground level. Just everything and everyone seems to be on the same page. And anytime somebody isn't, it's very noticeable. So and action is usually taken pretty swiftly. But it's what were we saying?
I've asked you a million questions, dude. My bad.
Did, but
this was about how the age cutoff.
Yeah, I was trying to.
After 40, you got to start they start checking you.
Checking you.
And you can retire at 65 though. So if you're in good health and got good heart and got a good sensible mind up until 65, you could be front seat captain, making 6 figures a year.
Yeah.
Sitting comfy in a 747. Baby.
Hey, that's what's up, man.
That's
again,
Biggie,
man,
that's Biggie right there.
Yeah, we know.
I wasn't talking about the song. I was talking about the airplane, 747.
What's up? Yeah, we don't know. But yeah, man. Again, I could ask you questions all day because I don't know pilot, man. And it's just it's something, like I said, it's over the years it's really started to fuck with me when you realize what's really happening.
Yeah, but
it's really crazy, dude.
There's nothing to worry about if you're ever gonna go flying somewhere. Just don't go flying with somebody sketchy. That's what I gotta say.
We don't get to pick the pilot.
Well, yeah, if you're picking an airline, that's what I'm saying. It's so controlled down to the ground level, down to the damn medical examiner.
Yeah,
that
is even in on it.
Yeah, is even in on it. That those airline transit pilots that you don't know, you could ask for their name, their numbers, their badge numbers, and they might give you crap for giving them a hard time because they think you're going to complain or they think you're going to say something and they want to go unnoticed. They want you to trust them, but at that point, it's all required of us. We're supposed to be
transparent.
Yeah, just transparent. Just be if you want to know us, you want to be a part of we're not unattached from each other's lives in a way, you know. If I'm sitting front seat and I've got 55 souls on board, all of a sudden our lives have become intertwined.
Yeah,
and like that's a really big deal. That's like a really
that's a good way to, I guess, to ease your mind a little bit. Like, it's unless that person wants to die.
Yeah,
then you know, your lives are still one now.
So you should really be more worried about other passengers at that point,
right?
Because that's the only recent historical event that has ever happened,
right?
That caused harm to like people who weren't expecting it when they got onto an aircraft. It was 17 years ago, 18 years ago.
Yeah, man. So
that. I mean, like. That is like the most recent historical event. Of course, you were speaking about like planes colliding on the tarmac, on the airstrip and stuff. But like someone who really goes through. I mean, you personally, you know, you going through pilot school, but someone who goes through the entire pilot school is dedicated to what they're studying, and they get 2 years into the game and they just decide, man, I want to just crash this plane into a building.
Damn.
Like, I mean, like,
it's had to have happened, bro, thousands and thousands of times, man. It only makes sense at any job. So why would this be any different? Especially with the like pressure.
Hold on, Raul, because I want to hear what he's about to say.
My bad.
You hope that they get caught before they choose to do that. I mean, that's wild. I mean, and like Rob said, if you met me 6 years ago, 5 years ago, when did we?
Yeah,
whatever,
about six
2014. You would have never thought I was capable of flying a plane, and honestly, I don't think anybody we worked with is capable of doing anything responsible at that time.
Yeah, that was.
Everybody was a little reckless 6 years ago that I know.
Shit.
And a lot of people have changed. Some people washed out. Some people grew up, and like, you know, that's life. So I guess the question you asked is if somebody would want to, like, they go through all that, they get to this point. I mean, you just got to be wary of the signs. Somebody wants to do that, or somebody gets that idea in their head that they're you know, they're sick.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that like they need help, or I mean, maybe they don't. I mean, not all sickness requires somebody to like help you out. I'm not saying. I guess I don't want to like throw that under the bus there, but like
I understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying like that person needs to like maybe communicate how, you know, how they're feeling, or why they want to do, why they'd want to do other people who have not caused them any harm.
Complete strangers. And it's crazy, man. But we'll flip the script a little bit, man. Again, obviously, I'm gonna ask you questions about flying because you're a pilot, but we'll switch it up real quick because before we
pilot and training,
before we went live, man. Yeah, but still, man. And maybe one day you'll be flying me and T around, private. You know, that'd be a dope route to go if you're doing private.
You guys then could definitely trust because then you'd know that I've been through. I've been here at this spot, the beginning spot, and then you can see me. You'll if we stay knowing each other, unless we for some reason.
I don't see why we wouldn't. Man. I don't even like the thought of it, man. You're my boy.
Right, exactly. So
there's a couple of times where I was like, fuck this damn guy, dude. For real. Like when I first met you, I'm like, this dude out there, man.
6 months from now, you know, I'm gonna be a completely different pilot from the pilot I am, you know, today. I'll have 3 more licenses. Working on my 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th.
That's why it's dope we got you though right now, so you can come back again and maybe, you know, be a whole different. And everybody's gonna be changing, you know.
Exactly.
Better, worse, whatever. But you know, people change. That's just how it goes. But like I said, man, we don't want to keep you on here forever. But before we went live, I asked you about the Kanye, and the reason I want to bring it up is because you actually. You know, I'm a huge Kanye fan. Yeah. And the night that it came out, or the day it came out, you came over and we sat down and listened to it, and you were all about it. And now I said, hey, you still on the Kanye? And you said, nah.
Okay.
So what's up with that?
I like the Kanye album that he just put out. That is actually That's a good point. I was about that, and I was really.
I mean,
into
you
it,
were
and
really into it.
Because I listened to it, and I felt something like I always do when I listen to Kanye make music, and it ignited something, and it just reminded me of you a little bit, and like, you know, like if we went back 6 years and listened to Kanye. Mm-hmm. Would we have ever thought that Kanye was going to be releasing a Kanye album this year?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
And, like
maybe not.
You
like
just knew
this drastic, but weren't you and me talking about it? Or no? One of our last guests was like, he's always been like on this journey.
On that type of that was Lanier.
Yeah,
Lanier.
That's
shout out Lanier. But I don't know if it was. I mean, I didn't think he's gonna put out a full. Got like legit gospel album, you know. I mean, he got Kenny G on that shit. I mean, he got some good musicians finally. Like,
the choir.
Not finally, he's always
choir.
had good people, but like some soul.
Yeah.
You know, like good people. You know, I mean, I don't know these people, but you know,
he's up there in Montana starting a religion.
He's
not starting a religion. So I think I like the album a lot, and I'm going to stick with that. But it's Kanye producing music. I will continue to follow him, but it's just watching his journey grow from, man, when did I start that Pandora? 2008, 12
Graduation.
Years ago. I said his album, you know, his music back in 2008, it just hit different, and every album thereafter was just got bigger and better, and like I felt it, and we got to this point, and I haven't really checked in on Kanye because Kanye kind of went off the grid, right? He went to Montana. He stayed out. He stayed out of the public.
Wyoming.
Well, you know, he went and got help and
went out of the public view. Yeah, he went to Wyoming. I forgot that. I thought he went to Montana for some reason. What do you guys? Before we like go deeper? What do you guys think about those states? Wyoming, Montana,
I
Idaho.
started to ask you like
Idaho, North Dakota, South Dakota.
I don't even know if that's a state, if that's a city, but that's just me.
That's a part of our country, man.
Yeah.
If hypothetical, would you say that if terrorists invaded New York or Los Angeles, you'd be like, I know where that's at. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but if somebody was like, you know, terrorists are coming through Montana and Idaho, I mean, what would your reaction be? You'd be like, where's that?
Yeah,
let me get the globe out.
Clark Kent stuff. Like,
I mean, me personally, it wouldn't be like that, but it wouldn't be the same as like you said, like New York or LA or something, to where I would, without having to think, you know, I'm like,
I definitely would do research to find out where it's at and everything.
See, I wouldn't have to do. I know pretty much where it's at, but it just, you know, it just wouldn't hit the same as.
It wouldn't, would it? I mean, they could have like a mass front.
I don't mean hit the same as far as like, you know, it's not as important. I don't mean that. I worded that wrong. I meant just kind of like you said, like it might take me a little bit of extra to, you know, think for a quick second of like what's happening, to where if you were like, dude, LA is like, boom, you know what I mean?
But also, I mean, a good counter to that, to the question I asked is, why would they even be attacking? I mean, Montana or Wyoming, what's up there?
Dude, it's a weird vibes up there, you know? I've only been once, but it's like a weird, maybe it's because it's so
just
like,
slow,
ghost town, like chill, like maybe chill, but like, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, he picked it for a reason. He could have picked anywhere in the world, you know? I think he picked that for a reason, man. I mean, he did all of him and Jay-Z made that whole record mostly in London, and like that definitely had Watch the Throne. Like he made the last 3 albums in Hawaii. So like he obviously picked this for a reason, you know?
I mean, and if there was an obvious reason, it would probably be because of seclusion, right? Secluded. He wouldn't be like secluded from the world, not having mainstream media networks from like LA or New York coming in and like bothering him and his family, or just whatever he was trying to put together. And turns out he's trying to put together a church. I said he's trying to put together a religion earlier. It's not true. Christianity's been around forever.
Yeah, let's get back on that, because again, we're gonna wrap this up in a minute. But like, just more like just specific. Like, is it the fact that
this is like after I listened to the album, I listened to it again and I listened to it again, and then like I just saw him in the news recently, and he was speaking again, and I was like, all right, I think I'm done watching this guy's journey. And that was it. It was just as simple as that.
Was it because he was like preaching?
Basically? Yeah, I just thought like I had maybe invested so much in this like really talented artist journey and everything that he's going through, and believed in it. And like he does make him. I'm not saying that I won't ever listen to his music, and I'm obviously gonna go bump those classics that I love.
Yeah, always, yeah,
forever. But like,
so when did you stop? I know, was you on Heartless? Did you listen to that song?
Stop? No, when he stopped listening to Kanye?
Yeah.
Bro, he brought the new album over that just came out. The night that it came out.
Yeah.
Like, and he was like,
I had just listened to it once
bro.
before I listened to it with Bobby.
Like, so you heard all the follow God and no church on Sunday and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think his work, again, he's done another like good piece of music and art. But as far as like him outside of his music and everything he's doing, I'm just like, it's maybe this is
nah, just say whatever. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be thinking the same thing.
It's just taking up too much brain space to be thinking about it, to be considering it. Like, whatever happens, I'm like,
whatever.
It's not something I'm like, I want to follow LeBron James and the Lakers, and I want to follow the Dallas Mavericks and the Cowboys and the Texas Rangers.
Right.
And like, your brain is filled with so many things, and like, I got to remember your name, T, and Bobby's name, and just, I got to like remember everybody's name as I'm like going around and like.
That's just extra.
I got to remember the type of damn water I like to drink when I go to the gas station, because I'm like, I only buy a specific type of water,
From small things to big things. Yeah, you only have so much room.
So I was like, I'm not gonna follow this guy's man. I don't want to follow his journey anymore, because it's just taking up too much brain space.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the vivid history that I have right now up to his latest album. And I think I'm just like, anytime like Kanye comes on, I'm like, I want to, like, on Instagram I see him on talks, and I just want to scroll past. Like,
he doesn't have an Instagram. That account, Kanye.West or whatever, is someone else that made that. He doesn't have social media.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Damn.
He's not about that life. What he does do is like, when he does randomly, which is like just like months in between, he will hop back on and look at a brand new account, and he'll post a shit ton of pictures for like 2 days, and then he'll delete them all and go back off.
So I think I saw Kanye in like World Star Hip Hop or The Shade Room, or through Kim Kardashian. I knew that if I didn't follow Kanye, I could just follow Kim K.
Yeah.
And like, who doesn't follow Kim K? So I saw him on Big Boy's Neighborhood, and he was just, and Big Boy gave him the space to talk that Kanye needs to talk. I saw that. Because I think there was a couple years ago, I saw something with like Ellen DeGeneres that Kanye did, and then he went on to like do Kimmel, and like they like made it seem like he was being long-winded, but they just weren't interacting with him. They just let him talk, right. And then it made it look like he was a detriment to himself. But I don't think that was at all Kanye. On Kanye's. I mean, whatever. Kanye's Kanye. He's gonna talk about what he wants to talk about.
So long story short,
I'm gonna scroll past from now on.
You're jamming here and now and again, but you're not gonna be like me, more invested, where I want to follow. I want to see where this is going. Like him and Dr. Dre are making. The next out, they're making it right now, and apparently it's supposed to come out on Christmas.
Him and Dr. Dre are making an album?
Yes.
No, the Jesus is King Part 2.
I didn't even know that. Damn, and him and Dre.
So you
Damn.
might want to
reconsider.
You might want to
I didn't even know that.
At least checking
out.
But
Again, like
you say you're gonna follow the production.
Yeah, you can still listen to the music and not.
I'm not gonna. That's what I'm saying. I guess I'm not.
Yeah, I think I'm getting it confused.
I'm not gonna follow what he's doing. I'm just gonna wait until.
Yeah, listen to music.
Till something drops and then just like I'm never gonna like expect it. Because I used to, I did. I waited for this Yandi album to come out, and then like people were like releasing his music or his beats early, and he had some infiltrators.
Yeah, definitely.
So it just, I don't know.
No, I feel you, dude. I was just curious because, like I said, I wasn't expecting. I was expecting you to be like, obviously, yeah, I'm still fucking with it, or like, oh, I'm on this now, but you were clearly like. Nah, I was just curious,
It's like
I feel you for sure.
It's like I'm moving from Kanye to just Dave Chappelle because I was watching Dave Chappelle before I came in here, and I know Dave Chappelle is good friends with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z and Dave Chappelle are like kind of like mentors, and I don't know how their friendship is with Kanye still, but I'm sure they're
they make fun of him in a friend way all the time.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle always. I think the last special he brought Kanye up in one of the last specials, but it was like a.
I think it's
friendly.
It's like tough love. It's just ribbing each other. They're fine.
But man, before we wrap this up, man, do y'all have anything? Any questions?
Yeah, what do you got?
I've been asking a million questions.
Yeah, what do you got going on in your life though, man? I haven't caught up with you in a minute.
Man, what I do.
You say you're feeling up today.
Today I'm up. Yeah, today's all right. Even with the car situation, was like, whatever, it happens. I was actually, when I'm doing better, even handling like that situation, I was like, my brain went more to like, man, I'm just glad this happened today. I got time. I do have things to do, but at least I'm not on the way to work. Or my brain instantly just went there, But if on a day that I'm down, I go the other way. I go left with it, and I'll start thinking the opposite of that, Like, obviously, I wasn't like, this is great. I was like, it sucks, but like, I went instantly. My brain just went and found the positives. Like, at least I'm not going to work, or at least I didn't hit somebody, and at least I was able to find a spot. Stuff like that, and like not forcing myself to think that. I just do it, and I just wish I could do that every day, but I just can't. I mean, you know me, man. I'm just either like super up or super down, And like I said, I'm glad you caught me on a day that I'm up, man.
I'm glad I caught you on a day that you're up, man.
Yeah.
And even when you're on your days that you're down, we're with you. Like, our energy's here,
Yeah, I know. That day that you came over, I was real down. I think I told you that. And, the album lifted me up, and just seeing you in general, you never come empty-handed. You brought me some dope salsa. And my boy be over here going in on the cooking.
Some Texas caviar.
Yeah. But, man, we'll wrap it up, man. But like I said, I do want to have you back. Obviously, man. Not 2 years from now.
I loved it.
When you're, fully, having some souls on your plane. But I want to have you back, And then we just need, I know you already told me you're super, you are busy and everything, but we do need to chill a little bit, man.
I'll make time, come by, swing through. Yeah. I'm just focusing on myself right now. I feel like the beginning stages of being like a pilot, you just gotta. I mean, it's just kind of like everything. If you want to be real good at something, you got to just focus on yourself.
Yeah,
for like a minute. You got to
shut
everything out. Be obsessed about it. Go hard, and like every day, even days when you're down, you got to be doing.
You know me. We're gonna do it. Do it. Still gonna go hard, but it's not as enjoyable. But I'm still gonna.
Yeah.
Do it. But again, man, I could talk about that forever. But dude, hey, thank you so much for
coming by. Thank you for joining.
It's good to see you, bro.
Unfriended.
It's good to see you again.
No, let me hold you hostage for like 10 more seconds. Hey, and again, man.
Yeah, man. This is a nice hat.
Straight up.
Panther City Hat Company.
And again, that's 3.
Keeping my damn head warm.
About keeping the sun out your eyes and everything, man. That's just 3 of the hats, man. That's actually like I wear that one all the time, man. But there's a bunch of other really dope stuff. But again, they're giving 15% off to Unfriended viewers and listeners. Just type the code Unfriended at checkout at panthercityhatco.com. It's panthercityhatco.com. All these links are going to be down below, so y'all don't even have to memorize all this stuff. Just click the links, check the website out, all that good stuff. Christmas is coming up. It'll be a dope little gift. And then a shout out to Klarity Music Group for the production of the podcast. Klarity with a K. You can find them wherever. And
you got any shirts or hats?
I don't have hats, man. I want to get some hats and some hoodies going. But no, right now just shirts, stickers. Panther City though, they have shirts. They have. I'll show you all their stuff whenever we get done with this, man. I think you like all their stuff. But man, we'll go ahead and wrap it up, man. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Later, y'all.